In mid-January 2026, rain began to fall relentlessly. Small cracks appeared in the town's main road. House walls began to creak. The ground shifted slowly, almost imperceptibly. For some residents, the sound was familiar. They had heard it before. January 25, 2026. Sunday. No earthquake. No explosion. Part of the edge of the plateau where Niscemi stood collapsed. Within hours, the landslide stretched for kilometers. A 20-meter deep chasm opened up in the middle of the residential area. Houses lost their foundations. Some remained standing, half suspended in the air. More than 1,300 people were evacuated. Many left with only the clothes they were wearing. If kilometers of the town's edge collapsed, 20 meters of land disappeared. More than 1,300 people were forced from their homes. And all this was triggered by 300 millimeters of rain that fell in just 48 hours. This is not a disaster simulation. This is not a scientific projection. This is the reality unfolding today. In Niscemi, a town of 25,000 people in southern Sicily, Italy. Today, the red zone was extended to 150 meters from the edge of the landslide. Buildings within 50 to 70 meters are declared at risk of collapse, officials admit. They don't yet know where the landslide will stop. Or the residents of Niscemi, this isn't just about the ground moving, it's about lost homes, history crumbling, and a future that now hangs on the brink. The question is no longer whether the landslide will stop, but rather, whether Niscemi can survive. Landslide hasn't stopped. Seismic sensors installed around the disaster zone are recording low-frequency vibrations every 6 to 18 hours. Each vibration indicates a specific event. The ground moved again. On February 2nd, at 2:47 p.m., a 3-story building collapsed without warning. The building had stood for over 100 years. It was destroyed in less than 30 seconds. It was the 4th major collapse in 2 days. Niscemi stands on a plateau. For hundreds of years, its position was considered secure. From a distance, the town looked sturdy, calm, and stable. But beneath the layers of hard rock that supported the ancient buildings lay a much more fragile layer of soil. Clay, a type of soil that can absorb large amounts of water and loses its strength when saturated. Experts agree that the trigger was Cyclone Harry, an extreme Mediterranean weather system that had struck Sicily a few days earlier. In 48 hours, the region received 300 millimeters of rain. Winds reached 150 kilometers per hour. Waves as high as 16 meters crashed into the waters off southern Italy. The water didn't just fall on the surface. It seeped into the ground. During Niscemi, the clay layer absorbs water and expands. When this happens, the soil loses its strength. The overlying hard rock layer loses its support. Cracks appear parallel to the cliff edge, and when one section collapses, the adjacent section becomes a new, equally fragile edge. This process is called retreating plateau edge failure. Each collapse makes the next one more likely. This disaster is not the first. Historical records indicate that major landslides in Niscemi have occurred since 1790. A similar event occurred again in 1997. At that time, 400 people were evacuated, mitigation promises were made, drainage plans were planned, but most of these never materialized.